Alright guys, so I've got something a little bit different with this one. I'm doing a double review and also a double giveaway. So two reasons for this. We've just hit 500 uploads, but we're also kinda getting close to 20,000 subs. We're nearly on 19, so I'm jumping the gun a little bit. But hopefully by the time we get this giveaway done, I might be closer to 20,000. So to be in with a chance of winning these, there's two different ones you can enter. One is going to be on YouTube, so you just need to subscribe, like the video and comment. And then the second one is going to be on my Patreon. I haven't really promoted that, so you might not even know I have one, and you can join that for as little as £1. As always, all the relevant links and information are down in the description. But now let's get down into this. So this is the box they'll come in. Got the Aquatrident logo on that metal plate there, and it is a pretty heavy duty case. So I'll quickly open it up, show you what else will be in there. So you'll get a couple of straps with both watches, which we'll go into detail in a bit, cleaning cloth, and then a 2-year warranty card. But let's get all this out of the way and get down to the watches themselves. So these are both part of the Aquatrident Horizon range. So they do quite a few different variations with these. Different dials, different case finishes, and also different sizes. And they also have a pretty cool party piece as well. So if you want to see what that is, stick around because it is pretty fun. So the two I've got here are the AQ 23006 and the AQ 23012. So both of these actually come with both strap options you can see here, but I've just separated them so it's easier to tell the difference between the two. So first off, let's go into the dimensions and talk about the differences there. So we've got 40mm on the AQ 23006 and then 43mm on the AQ 23012. So to make it easier from now on, I'm going to refer to them as 40mm and 43mm, so you'll be able to see which one I'm on about. When it comes to the thickness, on both of them it's 13.6mm. But I'd say it wears better than that suggests, so don't click off just yet. When it comes to the lug width, on the 40mm version, that's 22mm, and on the 43mm version, that's coming in at 24mm. Now moving on to the all-important lug to lug. On the 40mm version, it's coming in at 42.5, and then on the 43mm version, that's coming in at 44.2. So both of those are pretty compact, which means that even that 43mm version does wear smaller than you'd think. And obviously I'll be showing you both of them on wrist later on. So now let's move on to the weight. So obviously it's going to vary depending on which strap you've got it on, so I'll tell you both. So for the 40mm, on the rubber strap, that's coming in at 103 grams, and then on the leather one, it's coming in at 83. Moving on to the 43mm, on the rubber strap, it's 113 grams, and then the leather one, 92 grams. So some pretty interesting dimensions there on both of them, but now let's take a closer look at them and get onto those dials and cases so you can see them in a bit more detail. So let's start with that 40mm. And you can see, it's a really interesting looking design. There's quite a lot going on there. And believe it or not, this is actually one of the more subtle versions they do. Because as I said, they do quite a lot of different variations in terms of dials and also cases. So one of them's got a rose gold case, we've also got a tungsten case as well as different colours on the dials. Links to all of them down in the description, so on their website and also on the AliExpress store. So the first thing that's probably going to jump out at you is the fact that we've got that open heart movement on the front. I'm not really sure how I feel about this. I think personally it might have been better if they'd just had the full dial and not had that, because there is quite a bit going on that dial apart from that. So we'll take a closer look at it now, and you can see there is a lot, as I say. So we've got those green markers for the indices, but then outside of that, you can see we've got loads of different sections on the dial as well, in white. And then in that centre section, we've again got that green. It definitely gives it a unique look. I've not seen anything like this before. If you have, let me know down in the comments. Then we've got a couple of black circles there, one of which has got the Aquatrident branding at the top, and also the water resistance 100 metres at the bottom. And then we've got another one around that open heart movement, saying automatic. Personally, I don't think we really need that. Then on this version we've got those silver hands with a nice big area for loom on them as well. So again, check on the loom soon. Before we do that though, I'll quickly bring in the 43mm so you can see what it's like side by side. So as you can see, doesn't really look all that much larger, and it's got the same dial, so this is basically just the same version, just 43mm as opposed to 40mm. It is nice that they give you two different sizes to choose from, because sometimes when I do videos people say that watch is far too small, why don't they do it in men's sizes? Well now you've got the option. So let's test now whether we've got sapphire crystal on this or not, using the trusty diamond selector tool. And yep, we've got sapphire crystal. Let's flick it over, check out the back. And that is just mineral. It's always nice to have sapphire, but it's not a deal breaker on the back. But now let's move on to the case and talk about that in a bit more detail, because it is a pretty unique looking case as well. So it does look fairly thick, yeah. But as I said, it wears better than you would think, which I will show you. We've got some really interesting lugs on that, which do drop down pretty quickly, and they are quite short, which helps with that compact lug to lug. And I do appreciate that they've broken up that case with those lines going around at the bands, just to make it feel a little bit thinner. And we've got that signed crown there with the Trident logo on. Nice details on the bezel. And then we've also got that domed crystal, which adds a bit of distortion too. Taking a closer look at the back, you saw before, we've got that pretty interesting rotor with that fish on the back. I'm not sure what it is. If anyone does know, put it down in the comments. And we've also got a slight blue tinge to that crystal. Personally, I think it would have been better if it had been clear, but let me know where you stand on that one. So to screw down case back, and then we've also got quick release. So that's really nice, quick release on both straps as well, so you can swap them in and out quickly. So I'll quickly bring in the 43mm so you can see the leather one as well. So you can see the quick release there too. We've also got the Aquatrident branding on there, the fact that it's genuine leather and 24mm. Then when it comes to these buckles, these are pretty cool as well, kind of shaped like a trident almost. They are pretty large, but I guess that kind of suits the style of watch though. Stitching's nicely done, and overall, pretty good strap. And here's a closer look at the rubber one. So we've got the holes on there, so nice and breathable. Again, got that same buckle. And again, that's 22mm. And it is nice that you do get quick release on both, and you get both straps with both watches as well. So now you're probably wondering, what movement is it? So it's the NH38, so if we unscrew the crown, we've got no go state, just the one position, pop it out. Second hand stops, we've got hacking, and then we can just change the time. And then pop it back in, second hand re-engages, hand winding, all works well, no issues whatsoever, nice grippy crown, nice size to it as well. Rock solid movements, as you've come to expect. But now let's get onto the standout feature of this watch, and also that party piece I talked about earlier. And there it is. Crazy, isn't it? When I first saw this, I was blown away. I'd already seen the pictures, but I just didn't think it would actually be as good as it looked in the pictures. I thought maybe they'd boosted it or something, but no, this is exactly what you're going to get. And you might have also noticed that little party piece I was on about. We've actually got loom on the stitching on the leather strap. Again, not something I've seen before. If you've ever seen that before, I'd love to know what watch it was on, because I think that's really cool. And it's just a bit of fun as well. Part of me kind of wishes with the dial they'd actually put those colours on it just during the day as well, instead of having it fully white. But I guess it's kind of stealth loom almost. What do you think? Do you prefer it the way it is, or would you like to have the actual colour on the dial too? So it doesn't actually specify what looms it's using, but by the look of it, we've got a few different variations. It just says it's Super Luminova. But it looks like we've got some C3, BGW9, some coloured, either C3 or BGW9 I imagine. But you can probably see already, there is a slight issue here. So the 40mm version isn't actually as bright as the 43. I've charged them both up exactly the same as always, but there's definitely a discrepancy between the two, it's just not quite as bright. But we haven't got any patchiness or anything, so the question as always is, what's the longevity like though? So let's speed this up now and find out. So initially, you are going to notice that those orange sections do fade pretty quickly. The indices and the hands though are looking pretty good, still hanging on pretty well, but again, you can see the difference between the 40mm and the 43mm. The 40mm is definitely fading quicker, so it's okay loom. Not the best in terms of longevity, but in terms of the impact, it's definitely pretty impressive. They just need to sort out the consistency between the two different sizes though. And here's a better look at that loom on that leather strap. Again, that is just really cool and really fun, I think. Especially when combined with that crazy loom on the dial. It just could have done with a little bit more on the dial, especially on that 40mm version. So, as you'll probably agree, this is a really unusual and interesting piece. It's definitely going to be one that some people are going to be turned off by instantly, but if you've got this far into the video, I imagine you're not one of them. And you probably want to know, how much is this going to cost you? So as I say, it's available on their website and also on their AliExpress store. So I'll leave prices for both. So starting with the 40mm, on their website it's currently £176. Then on the AliExpress store, it's currently on sale for £165. Then when it comes to this 43mm, on the website, £183 and £172 on the AliExpress store. But as you guys all know, AliExpress prices vary quite a lot and fluctuate quite a lot, so just make sure you check out the links to see where you can get the best price available for you. But now you probably want to see how they both wear on wrist, as well as going over the pros and cons. So we'll start with this 43mm version, and then we'll do the 40. And here it is on my 7-inch wrist. So I was actually surprised how well this one wore. I thought it was going to be too big, to be honest, but that was before I knew the lug-to-lug measurement, which is nice and compact. And again, with those lugs dropping down pretty quickly, it helps conform to wrist quite nicely. And then when it comes to that thickness, as I said, it does wear better because it kind of sinks into your wrist almost, and because it's tapered towards the bottom, it just makes it feel thinner. Then we've got that crazy trident buckle on the bottom, which I was worried might dig in, but it doesn't. It's not an issue at all. Plenty of different holes to get the right size for you as well. And the strap is actually really comfortable. It's quite thin, but I think that works quite well. And again, if you're not keen on it, you can wear it on that rubber strap instead, which you can see now on this 40mm version. And again, really nice fit on this. Again, plenty of sizing. Like we've got the air holes there for breathability. And again, wears well, as you'd expect for a 40mm on my 7-inch wrist. And I think with that compact lug-to-lug, you'd probably get away with wearing this on a smaller than 7-inch wrist as well. Again, sits nicely into your wrist, so kind of makes it feel thinner than it is too. So I started off wearing this one a bit more on this rubber strap, and then I kind of switched and started wearing the 43mm version on the leather strap, the closer I got to doing the review. But let me know, which do you think looks best, which strap and which size on my 7-inch wrist? So now let's get on to the pros and cons. So I've only got a couple of cons with this really. First thing, I'd personally get rid of the open heart, just have it with that fully loomed dial. But when it comes to that fully loomed dial, I'd like to see those colours actually on the dial when it's not loomed, just so it's a bit more interesting. But again, that could be with the version I've picked. I went for the more plain version. Some of the other variations are a little bit more colourful. In terms of that loom, I'd like to see them just add a little bit more, just so the longevity is a bit better, especially for the 40mm version, just to get it up to the standard of the 43. If you can, maybe try and shave a few mil off that thickness. But they are the main ones. I do think it's got some good stuff. As I say, I just love that loom profile. It's really cool looking. I love the fact that you've got the loom on the leather strap on the stitching. Quick release on both straps, and the fact that you get 2 straps in the box too. I do like that they went with the NH38, the no date specific version. So overall, if you do like the design, I do think it's worth the money. I've got a few little minor gripes and things that I might change. That weird fish thing on the rotor is a little bit odd. Also, I'm not overly keen on the blue colour on that crystal on the back. I'd rather have it clear. If you're going to show me the movement, let me see it properly. But if you want to win either of these, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And for 2 chances to win, consider joining my Patreon. Again, as I say, you can do it for as little as £1. Or if you want to buy a different one, links in the description. But that's it for this one guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.